underway in the trial for the death of Manuel Ellis. A black man who died from lack of oxygen while being restrained by Tacoma police back in 2020. Tacoma police officers Matthew Collins, Christopher Burbank, and Timothy Rankin sat in a Pierce County courtroom today. Burbank and Collins are charged with second-degree murder. Rankin is charged with first-degree manslaughter. If found guilty of charges surrounding the death of 33-year-old Ellis, they could face life in prison.
As the trial progresses, we will have legal experts weighing in to give you some perspective.
And joining us today is retired Pierce County Superior Court Judge Bryan Tollefson. Thank you so much for being with us today. Now, quite a lot of jurors were answering, they were filling out those questionnaires. What will that be used for? What can we glean from those questions?
Well, the whole idea behind having a juror questionnaire is to save court time. So juror questionnaires are usually full of general questions about the jurors and their background and things like that. And so the attorneys can review those juror questionnaire answers, and then they can, when they interview individual jurors during the voir dire process, they can specifically tailor their questions more focused on the individual juror instead of asking a lot of general questions. Saves time.
Right.
So we know this death of Manuel Ellis was a really big deal at the time, March 2020. It got a lot of media attention here in Western Washington. Also sparked protests. A lot of people may be wondering, will this case will it be a fair trial?
The goal of everybody in a case is to have a fair and impartial trial, and I'm confident that the attorneys, all the attorneys involved, and the judge will do their very best to make sure that they have a fair, impartial, and diverse jury panel hearing this case.
And what did we learn from the Derek Chauvin trial that would help inform this case?
Well, the Derek Chauvin trial, of course, was during COVID, and so there's a lot of things that happened during the Derek Chauvin trial that don't really apply to this case because we're post-COVID now. For me, you know, I watched the whole trial for you folks as a King 5 commentator, and for me, the big takeaway post-COVID is the transparency of the proceedings. They made sure that the whole trial was live streamed. They made sure that all the court proceedings, the whole court file for every part of the court file that wasn't sealed was available for all the public to look at. I looked at it when I was preparing to talk to you folks during a commentary. And so that whole model has been adopted by Pierce County Superior Court. They're going to live stream the trial, starting I think with opening statements, and they've made the whole court files for all of these defendants wide open to the public, so you can go and look at all the pleadings, all the documents that are not sealed, everything in the court file, get an idea. That's very, very transparent, and I really applaud all the folks at Pierce County who were involved in making this proceeding very, very transparent.
Let's talk a little bit for a second. You've got years being on the bench. You've seen many, many cases. What can we expect to hear from both the prosecutors and the defense as this trial gets underway?
Well, as you know, the goal of every attorney is to vigorously and zealously represent their client, and I'm confident you're going to see that play out during this proceedings. Exactly how it plays out, every attorney has their own set of strategy and tactics that they design based on the case involved. So you're not going to figure out exactly how the vigorous and zealous representation plays out until you see it play out in person in the trial. But I'm sure each one of these attorneys are going to do their very best to represent their clients, whether it's the state or an individual defendant.
And like many of these trials, I mean, people, they were outraged. We've seen the video. What is it like to oversee something that has so much public attention already?
Well, in my personal opinion is the more experience that a trial court judge has on the bench handling all sorts of high-profile cases, the better. And in this case, Judge Shushkoff is the senior-most Superior Court judge in Pierce County, and he's one of the judges with the most seniority in the entire state of Washington. So he has many, many years of being involved in high-profile cases, and I am confident that he will use his many, many years of experience and his composure that he has developed over the years to preside over a fair and impartial trial for everybody involved.
Well, Judge, thanks for being here. Your legal brain is much bigger than ours. We appreciate your insight. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Well, you're going to hear again from Judge Tollefson again once the jury selection is complete. Each Friday, after opening statements, we will have a debrief of what we learned during the previous week's testimony during this trial and provide legal analysis. That is Fridays at 6 p.m. on King5.com, plus the King 5 Plus app on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV.